As a society, we have lost all sense of self-respect and dignity. Pornography and sexually appealing things that have become normal to see in our day-to-day life, whether it's seeing an ad on YouTube or other social media platforms, watching a video that promotes explicit content through its thumbnail or plugs it uses in the video, people just think it's okay to display sexual content everywhere in order to get clicks and views. And people will exploit weaker people to get these views in order to gain traction and get money themselves. I don't think people even realize how much they're exposed to it throughout their day. And it's literally everywhere. You can't escape it. Even if you aren't online as much as the average person, you're still going to see it. And I find it disgusting how normalized and desensitized to it we have gotten as a society. As someone who has struggled on and off with lust and watching explicit content, and I've been trying to combat the urges more often. I've currently been combating it for a 2-month streak, but usually my streaks only last a few months and then I will relapse. And if you see these things while you're trying to beat this lust or these lustful thoughts that you have, you're just basically telling your brain is just remembering that lust exists. If you're trying to forget or avoid lust entirely and you're just seeing an ad on YouTube while watching a video, or if you're seeing all these thumbnails, or if you're seeing posts on Instagram or random reels, anything to do with lust, you're going to see just from being online. And that's the part that really sucks. And having all this exposure to it literally rewires your brain into thinking it's normal when it isn't at all. And it shouldn't be at all to see. And it's just in the back of your minds lingering. At least for me, whenever I'm trying not to relapse and let my lustful thoughts win, whenever I'm exposed to lust, while it may not, arouse me at the time, I know that subconsciously in the background, it will come back to bite me later and it will remind me, hey, like, I should relapse, even though I've been working on not relapsing and maintaining myself as a person. And people just have no shame anymore. They spend their hard-earned money, some people, not all, but some, they spend their hard-earned money not on themselves or another individual like a friend or a partner, but an OF model or some sort of porn star that is literally repulsed by them if they ever were to see them. If these people were to meet these women that they were spending money on in real life, they would probably get a reality check, because these women would, even though these women are have made bad decisions in their life and they are degenerate, they would look at these people as less degenerate than them. And they make bank off of the stupidity and patheticness of these people, that they don't even care about their impact, because they're having a huge negative impact on the mental wiring of people's brains. And they only care about making an image for themselves or a name for themselves to make profit, obviously. And I know it's like the worst thing, but can you blame them? Because humans are the most selfish creatures on the planet, as I've mentioned in a previous video. But we've been trying to get as much out of any trend we do. We basically milk this trend or this sort of way that society is going until it can't be milked anymore. And that's what I've kind of noticed right now. We are milking everything we do. We are milking it on all lustful thoughts, explicit content, pornography, pretty much everything to do with that side of the spectrum. And You can shame the people who push this content and hate them as much as you want, but you can't blame them for taking advantage of the average person. This is not, obviously they're a horrible person for putting this out on the internet and exploiting people, but it is, at the end of the day, the average individual's fault for allowing this to happen, for going onto websites, for paying for stuff, for watching certain things, for clicking on certain YouTube videos that maybe aren't explicit, but still have a thumbnail that would get clicks because of its hinting at explicitness. A lot of people like to hint at explicitness to get clicks on their videos. And these people have become so successful on doing this to the point where they are literally making more money than popular sports players and athletes, not because they've beat the system or are intelligent people, because they know that like the losers of society and the average person watching or around that sort of social media platform or watching their content will bite the hook and succumb to their lustful thoughts to gain sexual pleasure. And it's one of the largest reasons why my view of society and my hope for it has slowly been ruined. Like, if I go to the comment of any Instagram video or any reel, any YouTube video, and let's just say the video isn't as lust heavy, but you could maybe still take lust from it if you were dirty minded or if you wanted to hint at it. There is always at least a few people in the comments of these videos who will mention it or some sort of way, or be disgusting or be creepy. And I just find it absolutely like horrifying, because this is what society has slowly been turning into. And people are just used to other people commenting that sort of stuff on videos. That's become so normalized to the point. And then the attention that these people get for posting this explicit content just allows these explicit models and just people to lie to themselves that their job is actually doing something that's worth it. And people love to lie themselves about their actions, so much so that they actually start believing themselves into thinking that certain coping mechanisms they made up in their mind are true. And while this is horrible, I think the worst thing about all this is how it literally changes the instinct in your brain, or whatever you're thinking about in your brain, and removes basically all human decency that you have from the thoughts in your brain. It's like being dirty minded, as I mentioned earlier, but it's constant and it's worse. Like, everything you see, you're going to revert to lustfulness just based on the content we are getting fed and feeding and like putting ourselves in and watching. And if you watch any video on short or long form, even if it's tend to be sexual, as I mentioned earlier, you will literally just see people making it sexual, and people still will find a way to just do that. Even if it's not the people in the comments, the people in the videos will take something and just hint at it being sexual in these videos. And it's just, I just find it disturbing for our society that we're going down that path. And it's become so normalized to the point where I'm shocked that people are surprised at the amount of lust people have and lack of self-respect there is. Because so many people will thirst over somebody in an unhealthy way, I've noticed, in a creepy way, which also leads to attention and views given to the person who utilizes it. And we've reached a new low that I'm not even sure how we're going to fix. Because, like, one thing I've noticed is that when I'm trying to avoid lust and I'm not really thinking about it, I will still see it around. And it's just annoying. Like, if I'm on some sort of streak, I don't think you should really count your streak or count the days, because I think it just kind of keeps that in the back of your brain. If you're trying to beat lust, you want to just remove all sort of thoughts from your brain. And that means even tracking the days that you're that you've gone by without giving into lust. And when I'm just kind of, forgetting about lust that same week, or like I will be exposed to so many different things just from watching something like a YouTube video. I'll be watching a YouTube video that has nothing to do with anything lustfulness, and I'll just get a lustful ad or some weird ad that isn't even having, like, they'll just put lust in their like things. Like there's so many mobile game ads that I'll just see, and on the top of the screen or on the bottom of the screen, there'll be like a picture of some like animated woman or some cartoon woman that just is trying to like get people to click on like buy their game or buy their product or something. People will use lust to make money, and I just find it repulsive, and I just can't believe that this is where our society has gone to. And the reason it's gone to it is because there's so many people that will just legitimately click it, because we have become so used to it over time. And I don't know, it's really just disappointing. And obviously we need to stop and control the lust that we have, but I'm just really not hopeful for society, because in the end, like, I know I'm complaining about the people who are actually posting this content, but as I said before, it's not their fault if they're getting views or money from this or clicks, because the recognition that they're getting from all this is from us, is from the average person, is from people that are on social media, on the internet. And it's not their fault, even though we should shame them for it. It's our fault at the end of the day. I'm not saying it's my fault particularly or your fault in particularly, but people like you and me who are at this age or are just at this point in their lives where they've been exposed to so much social media that it literally will rewire your brain. Thank you guys all for watching.